Yeah, Dan Kennedy was listening in to that press conference as well, along with a lot of our reporters. Dan, what did you find to be some of the biggest takeaways? Because we really are trying to stress the gravity of what's to come.
Right. Well, you heard those officials up there, Josh Lamb from GEMA and 6 other state officials closely aligned with Georgia's emergency response plans. They got up there and said they are getting ready for what could be the biggest ice storm in a decade. You know who was missing from that news conference was Governor Brian Kemp. Those officials briefed him right before this meeting began virtually because the governor, it appears, is still overseas. When he issued that state of emergency earlier this week, Governor Brian Kemp was in Belgium at the time. He's over there and now visiting the UK as part of an economic forum that he's taking part in. So the governor not present there, but he is still appearing virtually for some of these briefings. In addition to what you all mentioned about this continuous brining that is going to take place with phase 1 ending in just about 20 minutes from now. That's statewide. That's 18,000 miles of roadway that's being brined right now. I think it's also important to note that there are some warming shelters that are going to be opened up for people statewide. You had the Department of Natural Resources get up there, and they said that they are opening 16 warming centers at state parks across the state. Now, I have their website pulled up here, and I want to show you. You can check this out for yourself. This is gastateparks.org/alerts, and it has some more details for you here, including which parks are currently closed. So it's not just any old state park, but what did we say? 16 warming centers are open at select state parks across the state. So it could be a good option for you if you lose power this weekend. And then I want to show you their Facebook page here, the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. Somebody asked a great question, and I have the answer highlighted off to the right. Pets are welcome at these warming stations over the weekend if they are leashed and accompanied by the owner at all times. Pets may not be left unattended. Crates, travel kennels, strongly encouraged as well. So just thinking it's important to pass along that note for folks. Additionally, Aisha and Jonathan, the National Guard stands by. They are ready to help after this state of emergency was declared by the governor. The National Guard effectively deployed, ready to go. Some 500 soldiers on standby. They're going to be able to help with supplies if needed. If they need to get some supplies to counties across the state, they can do it by ground or by air. And one more note on that on the supplies before I toss it back to you. The state is sending blankets and MREs to North Georgia, and they are really focusing on the nursing homes up there and who those nursing homes need to call should they lose power. They are also opening up some Red Cross shelters in the following counties: White, Walker, and Rabun. Jonathan, Aisha, it was a 35-minute news conference, a lot to cover there, but I think that's some of the key takeaways.
Yeah, a lot of information coming out of that news conference. It really does seem that the state as a whole is prepared for what we heard again, Dan, could be several days of this weather impact.
One of the key points that I found interesting there, Dan, maybe you heard this one too, just really overstressing the people staying off the roads. It's going to take 12 to 14 hours for them to make that loop around the state and come back around. So the brining process, you think about it, you're really only going to get one shot to get your road treated, and don't even think that they're coming back around anytime soon.
No, it's a great point. We can all do our part to help out those folks as they work to brine the roads. 18,000 miles of roads that need to be brined. As you mentioned, it takes about 12 hours to do so. They are working in 12-hour shifts to get this done. And even after the brining, did you hear that they're going to have some snow plows out trying to get rid of any kind of slush or anything that can freeze overnight? And in addition to all those road crews out there, I'm sure you also heard that the state troopers are going to be out starting at 6 o'clock tonight, strategically positioned around the state. And then tomorrow, you can double that number, closer to 60 state troopers ready to respond to crashes if needed. But Aisha and Jonathan, let's just hope there are no crashes. If you heed the warnings of those officials, it's to stay inside.
All right, Dan Kennedy joining us live from the streaming center where he will be hunkered down himself all weekend long, tracking all of that for us. Dan, we'll see you in just a little bit.